What's up guys, today I'm going to be explaining the new sensitivity changes in Fortnite. Now these changes are very confusing when you first look at it in your menu. That's why I want to go over them. It's really not that complicated, and if you don't like these new changes you can end up going back to your old settings. So I'm just going to go over that in this video. So right away when you open up your settings in Fortnite, you'll notice that your building sensitivity and just all your sensitivities in general are grayed out. And that's because they moved the sensitivity settings to its own separate tab. Now once you get to this tab, you're going to see that you only have your basic sensitivity options like look sensitivity, aim down sight sensitivity, build mode, and edit mode sensitivity. And if you want to keep it simple, you can just edit these, but if you want to go more in depth, you can turn your use advanced options on, and once you do that, a bunch of different sensitivity settings will pop up. And a lot of people find these sensitivity settings to be really confusing, and it just looks like a bunch of nonsense with numbers. But honestly, the explanation for what these sensitivity settings do is not too complicated, and I'm going to go over them as fast as I possibly can. So starting off, you have your build mode sensitivity multiplier and your edit mode sensitivity multiplier. These are exactly the same as they were before. It takes your base sensitivity and it multiplies the speed by whatever the number you have on. Next is your look horizontal speed and your look vertical speed. This is literally your horizontal and vertical speed from the last update. It just, instead of it being 8.6, it is 86%, or say it was 9.6, it would be 96%. Now these next two settings are the settings that get people very confused, and that's the turning vertical boost and the turning vertical boost ramp time. So what the turning boost setting does is once your controller is flicked in any certain way, whether it's up, down, left, or right, and you have no more room to move your controller, you will get an increase in speed on how fast you're looking around. So for example, if you're changing your turning horizontal boost setting and it was at 15% like mine, whenever you move your thumbstick all the way to the left or all the way to the right, you would be getting a 15% increase of speed on top of your horizontal sensitivity, and that works both ways for your vertical as well. So what the turning boost ramp time setting does is it dictates when you'll be getting that increase of speed. So mine's on 0.20 seconds, and that means whenever I move my thumbstick for that certain amount of time, then that vertical boost will initiate. An instant boost when building would pretty much just mean that your turning boost ramp time is at 0.0 seconds, and you would be getting that 15% increase boost whenever you're looking around when building. Now when it comes to using the boost on your ADS, you don't want to do that at all, just because you want your aim to be consistent. I have the boost ramp type to 0.2 seconds. It really doesn't matter because I don't have a boost. Now the next important setting is the look dampening time, which I have on the default number. You could tell what's on the default number just by looking at the white bars. The white bars indicate that that's the default number or the default value. But what the look dampening time setting does is whenever you move your thumbstick, it will take a certain amount of time for it to reach a max speed if you have it on. So mine's on 0.2 seconds, which would be 0.2 seconds to reach max speed. If you have it off, your flicks and your movement will be more precise and more consistent. The only reason I don't have it on 0.0 seconds is just because I'm so used to the way that my crosshair moves naturally before the update, so I just left it the same. Next you have look input curve, which is either exponential or linear. And the reason you don't want it on linear is just because your movements will be too precise. It literally makes it almost impossible to build. So having your input curve on exponential gives you a little bit more leeway when it comes to building and aiming. Finally, you have aim assist strength, which you want to leave at 100% for obvious reasons. You don't want to have any weaker aim assist. There's really no time where you're going to ever want to move aim assist strength less than 100. Especially considering how broken aim assist is right now and the fact that it literally gives you aimbot. Now finally, your last two settings is copy basic settings and copy legacy settings. If you copy basic settings, what's going to happen is it's going to take the settings from before you went to the advanced options, the normal sensitivity changes. But if you decide to copy legacy settings, it's going to copy your settings from before this patch, and I would recommend this to anyone that was comfortable with their sensitivity before the update, and especially if you've been using the same sensitivity for a while. You don't really want to change anything. None of these changes are really that important, and if you start to change up your settings, it could really mess with your muscle memory. So if you like your sensitivity, don't change it. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you're new.